Hello everyone and welcome to a video that everybody's been asking for ages for, really, because everybody else did one and I didn't, which is Gran Turismo 7 and PlayStation 4. But we're also going to talk about Gran Turismo 7 as a whole, because why not? We just had a new trailer and everybody else has done one, and maybe you want to hear my thoughts and some of the things I spotted that you might not have, because I did and I thought it was quite interesting, especially one little thing that I spotted. I was like, ooh, kind of interesting and could mean something new. Right, anyway, let's get into it then. So we're going to talk about a few things. Oh, actually, before I do that, one thing to note. Weirdly, on the day of the trailer, I've had a headache all week, as you are well aware. I'm feeling mostly better now. But, like, literally, I had this funny feeling High Speed Ring was going to be demoed. And then weirdly, it happened in the trailer, which is awesome. I just had this weird feeling. It is now sight. I missed it, Meg. Yeah, it's rather odd to be honest, but it's nice to see High Speed Ring is back, and I really do hope other classic tracks do return. Oh, that's a point we'll get onto in a little bit. So, let's looking at the real good things first of all. One of the things I spotted that you may not have spotted, you may have spotted, and it gets a little bit more detailed in terms of how you spot this as well. So, Ford GT, the Le Mans winning car recently, was it 2016? I think it was. That was the 50th anniversary, so that'll be when they try to get it out. The GTE car, the LM, the Ford GT LM, was in the trailer, technically. It was up at the top, but you also saw it in racing action. If you didn't spot it, at the Le Mans clip right at the end with the title, right in the distance in P1, was the Ford GT. Interestingly, that was Group 3. Does that mean the Ford GT is in Group 3? I think it is, personally. I think Group 3 is going to continue. I think they're going to carry on that group category of cars. I think that's the best way to do that kind of racing, rather than call it GT3, Group 3. We saw the Beetle in there as well, and the Hyundai. So obviously, the Vision Gran Turismo cars staying in that category. It's a good category. I love racing Group 3 in Gran Turismo. I think it's an awesome category. Maybe get rid of Roofless Boy because it's not needed. Put a roof on it and happy days. But the Beetle is an excellent Vision Gran Turismo Group 3 car. It's like the Peugeot RCZ. It's a superb Vision Gran Turismo car for the category. It's something that you would see in real life if it existed. But interesting, the Ford GT LM is in Group 3. Or they call it the Ford GT race car, I think. I just call it the LM for Le Mans. I don't know. Anyway. It's kind of interesting. The Supra also looked a bit weird in that clip, by the way. I don't know if anyone noticed it. It looked like it was a Group 4 car. It didn't look as aggressive as the Group 3 car. But that could just be lighting, or we've got multi-class. I don't know. But it's just something to spot, and I spotted it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yes, the Ford GT. Now, I'm talking about Group 3 because another interesting thing that I saw there was the Ferrari FXXK was in there. I jumped up when I saw that because I was like, oh my God! This could be really good news. And this could be bigger than you realise, okay? So Ferrari are one of the pickiest manufacturers you can imagine working with video games. They absolutely hate it. It's the same for a lot of stuff with Ferrari, to be honest with you. If you look at what Deadmau5 is he called? I can't remember. The musician guy. When he did the Ferrari, and then Ferrari sent a cease and desist letter, whatever you call them. I don't know. So the Lamborghini got in the fray and then all that drama happened. Ferrari are very, very, very cautious with their brand. They are very particular. Probably the best word, particular, we'll use. We'll go very posh. So this could be bigger than you think then, having that Ferrari FXXK in there. Because Ferrari, from what I know from speaking to other racing developers, are very particular about a lot of things in that they hate their cars being shown with damage. They hate liveries. Custom liveries. They hate them on their cars. I know when we had to do a custom livery for another game, 2 cars we weren't allowed to do it on. Well, it was one originally, which was Ferrari and their GT3 car. And then McLaren came in at the end and said, no, don't do ours either. But even so, Ferrari are very particular. So the fact that they're newer cars in, and that's why we've got the 4.5. This is what I suspect anyway, and I've always said this. The reason why we don't have the Ferrari 488 car is because it's the current car. So if they put that in the game and you put custom liveries on it, it could show them in a bad light with their current car. Effectively, it could impact 488 GT3 sales or the use of the race car. I'm assuming that's why it's not in at the moment and why the 458 is in with no livery, and that's why we have that car currently in GT Sport. So, with the FXXK in, and I will get to this point now, does that mean the 488 GT3 car is then going to be in? Because to me, it feels like it might be, you know. It's been out for a while anyway, so it's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. And it'd be really good to get the more modern cars in there, like the 488. It'd be nice to get the 720S in there. It would be nice to get other brands in there, of course. I've talked about that before in my top 5 brands missing in Gran Turismo Sport. That would be good. Bentley was in there, Lotus, etc. Would be good to get them in, but it'd be nice to get the updated Ferrari GT3 car in there. So fingers crossed that's going to happen, because when I saw that FXXK, I was like, that means we've got more Ferraris and more modern Ferraris, which means Ferrari could be happy because the livery editor is still in there. We saw that, and I'm going down my list here a little bit. I should reordered this. And I believe from the livery editors that they saw, there's extra stuff with transparency. So, hey, happy days. Driver's Room will be happy. Big thank you to Driver's Room for the constant liveries, and anybody making liveries, to be honest. I do check them out. And we did do a livery competition, which will return soon. Don't worry. Now I've had your feedback, I'm sort of thinking about how to change it better and get more of you involved. So if you don't want to make a livery, how to pick the best livery instead, because I normally ask at the end of the video. But yeah, we'll get back to that shortly. Obviously, as we know, time and weather transitions exist. They demoed that in the first trailer. They've demoed it again in this trailer. So it does exist. And the fact it exists is good, because it's definitely needed. You know, when you go on a track, you want the possible risk that it's going to rain, or, you know, going through Le Mans, as we saw at the end of the trailer, when it's at night. You want the day to night transition. It might have made Super GT's Nürburgring 200 laps a bit more special to him when he actually had to drive it at night rather than in the same day and time for 200 laps for Steve. Anyway, so that's good part. We will get on now to, though, the little bit of a bad part of that system, from what I could see anyway. So if you didn't spot it, there is a moisture level on the screen in the gameplay part of it. Now, this is going back to GT6. I think it was GT6 from memory, when we had this same thing, this moisture level. And what it does is, it's good because obviously you've got the changing in moisture. You'll get to a certain percentage and then you'll know it's wet weather tyre or dry weather tyre. I don't really want that in the game visually, in my opinion. Now, this may seem crazy to you, but I don't want that level to be seen. I would rather have a feel on circuit to know when to come into the pits to change tyres. Having that figure on there, to me, personally, just means that when it gets to a certain number, I can't remember the GT6 value off the top of my head, let's just say it's 40%, then I know it's going to wets. When I get down to 40%, if it was 100, I know to go to dries. And everybody knows that, so then there's no real risk in it, in my opinion. Whereas I'd rather not have that value on screen. I'd rather know the value existed and not have it on screen and be like, actually, do you know what? I might have to pit this lap. I might have to pit next lap. And then you know that you've got changing grip. I think that would be better. Maybe you could turn it off. That would be like the best in between. So then, like serious competitions or in your own lobbies where you want to have it on, you can show it. And where you don't need to have it on, you can disable it. And then people actually have to figure it out. Because I think the figuring out whether to go on the wet to dry and dry to wet is far better than just a number which changes. Now, obviously, the number that changes also brings me on to another point that I'm a bit concerned over, really, is the fact that Live Track doesn't seem to have come to Gran Turismo yet, in terms of the fact that you don't necessarily have a drying line, or we don't fully know that, but the fact there's a moisture level would suggest that, because that's just saying this is it. This is how wet the track is. This is how dry the track is, technically, if it's 0%. So does that mean the entire track? So let's just say the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Is it going to have one level? So if it's like 50%, does that mean it's 50% wet across the entirety of it? Or are we not going to have a little bit of a dry section down at the bottom right, and then the rest of it could be wet and soaking? That would be kind of interesting, but it doesn't look like it's there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm putting a downer on things. Apologies, it's just my thoughts and feelings about GT7. So, you know, that's kind of an interesting thought there. Tuning is there, but is that going to bring bop issues? Because I don't really know. Hopefully not. Because at the moment, obviously, if you just say tuning no, it just limits all the settings. But if you've added a rear wing to a Skyline, as it shows in the video, that's going to change the downforce, and effectively it will have downforce that it didn't used to have. So is that going to cause issues? I don't know. Personally, to me, then, well, actually, we did see the performance points, didn't we? I'm going to go back a little bit. We did see that. So is that what we're going to use now? I don't know. I've got a bit of concern over the that in general, and it is one of the video. It's in the video list anyway, about the end categories at the moment, and just the whole overall bop issues. There's always going to be bop issues there, to be honest, in road cars. It's just that I feel like we've got more than normal at the moment, if I'm honest. Now let's go to the track maps a little bit, because we got the visual of Japan, which was brilliant, by the way, because we saw the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, high-speed ring exists, and we know it's in Japan now. Problem, though. So, we have a lot of classic Gran Turismo tracks, which are based in Japan. Special stage Route 7, 5, the Clubman version of 5, I think it was, 11, and I'm probably missing a few more now, because I know GT2 had a separate one. I didn't really play GT2 that much. Sorry, don't hate me. But we're missing a lot of special stages. We're also missing Tokyo R246, which is a big classic amongst Gran Turismo fans. We are missing them. So how could they come into the game with the current map that is being shown and fit in? Because if you notice, it's very specific in terms of where it's placing. Can we have multiple tracks there? I don't know. Is it limiting it? Does that mean we're not going to get them at all? I don't know. Oh, I really do hope we do get some of the other classics back. You know, I love the special stages. I love Tokyo R246. There were some amazing races at Tokyo R246, including, by the way, the first major commentary race series I did, which was the pure Japanese touring car. I had some big names in that as well. It was brilliant. Maybe I can put some on screen somewhere, or maybe you're already seeing it. I don't know, because I'm commentating first and editing after. But yeah, that potentially means we are missing. Sorry if you heard the bike. Noisy. That does mean potentially we are missing some classic tracks, and we're not going to get them, which I'm a little bit worried about. Now, finally, on all clips that we saw there were 10 cars. That includes a Le Mans clip at the end. I went and counted the cars that came into visual, and there were 10. Is that a concern? I don't really know, but now we're going to get onto the PS4 part of this video, because I think it relates to that. Car limit. Do you reckon the way they're getting Gran Turismo 7 onto the PS4 is that 10 car limit, or potentially 10 car limit online anyway? Now I say online because in GT Sport, we have the ability to have 30 cars on circuit. We did a video on that recently. Oh, it wasn't actually recently now, it's quite a while ago, but there is an event, offline event, where you race 30 cars. It's Group 3 and Group 4. It's a fantastic race to do. And yeah, good fun. We also have a video online from somebody called Vanilla, who actually got 38 cars on circuit, and it looked like it was running fine as well. That was at Northern Isle Speedway, so potentially small track, obviously less graphics to load because it's just a stadium, so maybe it was running smoothly because of that. I don't know. But I do hope it's more than 10 cars, let's put it that way. But does that mean maybe they're limiting it for the PS4? Could be. Could be how they're getting the PS4 version out there. And then potentially you PS4 users who haven't got a PS5 and have been saying, oh, we want to play GT7 as well. Maybe this is the way to do it. They'll give you less cars on circuit, but you get the full experience. Because you have to remember the PS4, and I'm talking the vanilla one now, not even the PS4 Pro. PS4 vanilla is 8 years old. It'll be over 8 years old when this comes out. It'll be 8 years and 4 months or something like that. That's very old technology. Imagine bringing out a modern game now. In fact, I can think of a lot of modern games that you can play now and putting it on 8-year-old technology, PC technology. It would not run very well at all, in the slightest. So to me, personally, the game for the PS4 has to have compromises, which is a concern. And I'm going to talk about that just in a second. You know, I'm worried a little bit with how this game's going to turn out. Initially, and this is why I didn't do a video initially, is that I thought that potentially it was a miscommunication. You know, somebody said something, it's been taken out of hand, everyone's jumped all over it and gone, ah! So I didn't really say much. Anyone who asked me in the streams a question, I just did. I did. Just did? Just did? What am I on about? Just answered the question on how I felt at the time. Now we have official confirmation it's coming out on PS4. I can spread these thoughts and, you know, my opinions on it. So let's talk about my hopes a little bit then, because this PS4 issue is an issue. So, as it's confirmed, I just do hope that it's just the fact that they've limited down GT7 for the PS4. And now all you PS4 guys are going to go, why are you limiting it down? It's 8 years old technology. I'm sorry, it is what it is. It has to be limited in some way. You've got to remember, you've got the improved performance on GT7. You've got weather transitions, time transitions. I didn't really talk about that in GT7. Still exists, but it's there. But that's going to take additional power. Is there anything we're missing there? You've got the graphical improvements. That will take some power. Remember, your PS4 sounds like it's taking off even now with GT Sport. So any improvements are just going to impact that even more. The penalty system. Everybody complains about the penalty system all the time. I think we're limited by the PS4 in terms of the penalty system, what it can calculate at the time while it's doing everything else. So if that's going to change, that potentially, you know, could cause issues for the PS4. So, and anything else that we don't know about, you know, the additional cars having different looks, etc. We know how long sometimes it takes to load. If you've got a PS5 versus a PS4 in loading times, it is night and day difference. I can't even tell you the difference. PS5 loads instantly. PS4 takes about 20 seconds. It is mind-blowing. I actually think that causes some lobby stability issues because you have one person who could jump straight in and the other person's there struggling to load in instantly. And obviously I've had that changeover. PS4's down here. I could load that in and do a demo if you really, really, really want. Or maybe I could put a demo on screen actually with 2 stream clips. Hey, maybe I've already done it. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping happens. What I really hope doesn't happen is that both games for PS4 and PS5 are the same, because that means the PS5 one is very limited, and I don't want a limited Gran Turismo experience, in my opinion. For anyone who's got a PS4 can't get a PS5, you will get one. And you got to think about it this way. If you end up getting, or not being able to get one and you go, oh, GT7 should be the exact same as PS5. Imagine yourself a year after GT7 releases on the PS4. And it's the exact same as PS5. You then get a PS5, and now you're like, actually, I wish I could have had a better experience now with GT7. That is exactly what you will feel like, because you will experience it initially, and then you'll be like, not really changed from GT Sport, because there are limiting factors with technology, you know. Is it Moore's Law? I think, you know, technology improves or doubles every 2 years. 8 years, that's a long time. That's a lot of doubling. A lot of doubling. So technically it hasn't actually done that, but it'll be very close, you know. The performance difference is huge. So I do hope they do not restrict it. I hope there's just a shrunk down version for PS4 to give you PS4 owners just the experience of GT7, the story potentially, good offline mode for you there to experience in terms of the career, etc. And then you go, right, okay, I want the added experiences of the better lighting, the better transitions, more cars on circuit, something like that. And then you get a PS5 and you go, excellent, I've experienced it on PS4. Wow, what an upgrade on PS5. And you get like an even bigger buzz. I think that was the perfect solution, and I really do hope they go down that. I love Gran Turismo at the end of the day, so I want the best for Gran Turismo. And I do think that the game needs to be designed for PlayStation 5 and then just shrunk down for PS4 to give you give you an experience there for those that don't have a PS5. And I think that's better in the long run as well, if I'm honest, when I think about it really. I just hope that GT7 is purely made for that PS5 experience. You know, that's what its original design is, and then just a shrunk down version. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I just wanted to succeed at the end of the day. I've played it all my life. You know, I've played GT7 since I was I haven't played GT7 since I was 7 or 8 at all. I haven't played GT7 yet. I've played Gran Turismo since I was 7 or 8, and I'm 31 now. So, you know, I've been playing it a long time. I'm wearing the shirt. Look at this. Through the steering wheel. Hey. You know, I've been to the finals. I've been to GT Academy. I've been everywhere with Gran Turismo. So I do hope the very best. And you got to remember, PD at the end of the day, they have the brains and they have the talent to make a glorious game. They play all the other racing games. They try them out, you know. They're not thick. So if any compromises do happen, it'll be coming from the more senior executives. It'll all be to do with more around the finances, getting a game out there. Because we know PD, the team, Gran Turismo as a whole, can make one epic product. Because they did with GT Sports. Even though it was limited in terms of esports, you know, the primary focus, they still managed to get an offline in there for you. And we've had a glorious 4 years of racing with GT Sport. So I'm looking forward to GT7. Hopefully it'll be brilliant. And not hopefully, I'm pretty sure it'll be brilliant. I just hope it's not limited by the PS4 variation. That's going to be it for me now, folks. I do hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, there's another 2 videos on screen if you want to check those out. Please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay in touch with all the latest content Gran Turismo-wise. But as I say, that's it for me now, folks. Do enjoy the rest of your day, week, weekend, wherever you are in the world. And I hope to see you in another video or live stream very soon.